What if I told you some of the most successful games in history were not made by giant studios, not by teams of hundreds, but by just one person? No funding, no big company, just obsession, patience, and thousands of hours alone. And the craziest part? Some of these games made millions, even billions of dollars. Today, we're diving into 16 incredible games made almost entirely by a single developer. And in the end of the video, we will dive in the analysis of why these games did that well. And as we go, you'll realize something powerful. You don't need a team to build something massive. Let's start. Stardew Valley. Imagine being broke, no job, no success, just an idea. That was Eric Barone. He wanted to build a farming game inspired by classics, but deeper, more alive. So he started working. Not for weeks, not for months, for 4 years, completely alone. He learned everything from scratch: coding, pixel art, music. There were moments he almost quit, no guarantee of success. And during all this, his girlfriend supported him financially. That's pressure. But then the game launched. At first, small. Then suddenly, it exploded. Millions of players, a global community. Because once you start playing, you wake up, water your crops, meet villagers, build relationships, and without realizing it, you're hooked. This wasn't just a game. It was proof that one person can create something bigger than entire studios. Undertale. At first glance, this game looks simple, but don't let that fool you. Created by Toby Fox, this game completely changed how RPGs work. In most games, you fight enemies. Here, you don't have to kill anyone. You can talk, joke, spare them, and somehow that makes everything more emotional. Characters remember your choices, the world reacts to you, and the music, unforgettable. What makes this even crazier, Toby Fox mostly built this alone, pouring his personality into every detail. And when it released, it became a cultural phenomenon. Millions of players, fan art, memes, music covers, all from one developer who dared to do things differently. Papers, Please. Now imagine this. You sit at a desk all day, checking passports. Sounds boring, right? Wrong. Created by Lucas Pope, this might be one of the most stressful games ever made. You play as a border officer. Your job is simple. Decide who gets in and who doesn't. But then, a mother begs you to let her child through. A man offers you money. A mistake could cost lives. And suddenly, this simple job becomes emotional torture. No action, no explosions, yet you feel constant pressure. This game proves a powerful idea beats flashy graphics. Minecraft. You already know this one, but here's what most people forget. It started with one person, Marcus Persson. He had a simple idea. What if players could build anything? No limits, no rules, just creativity. At first, it looked basic. Blocky graphics, simple mechanics, but something clicked. Players started building cities, castles, entire worlds, and the game spread like wildfire. From a tiny project to the best-selling game of all time. It's not just a game. It's a platform, a universe, and it all started with one developer and one idea. Axiom Verge. This game feels like it came from a big studio, but it didn't. Thomas Happ built it almost entirely alone. Coding, art, music, everything. The game is a love letter to classic sci-fi adventures. Dark atmosphere, strange worlds, hidden secrets everywhere. As you explore, you feel isolated, curious, drawn deeper into the mystery, and that's what makes it special. It feels personal because it is. Dust: An Elysian Tale. Look at this game. Smooth animations, beautiful environments. You'd think a whole team worked on it. But no, Dean Dodrill spent years creating it, mostly alone. He hand-drew nearly everything, every movement, every attack, every detail. And the result? One of the most visually impressive indie games ever. It shows what happens when one person refuses to compromise. Banished. No enemies, no combat, just survival. Created by Luke Hodorovich, this game puts you in charge of a small group of settlers. Your goal? Keep them alive. Sounds easy until winter comes. Food runs out. People freeze. Mistakes cost everything. One bad decision, and your entire town collapses. This game is slow, but brutal, and that's why people love it. Iconoclasts. Some games take years to make. This one took 7 years. Joachim Sandberg worked mostly alone, perfecting every detail, and you can feel it. Tight controls, smart puzzles, a deep story. It's not just a game, it's a passion project. Cave Story. Before indie games were popular, there was this. Daisuke Amaya spent 5 years building it in secret. No hype, no marketing, just pure creation. When it finally released, it became legendary. Many modern indie games exist because of this one. Roller Coaster Tycoon. This one is insane. Chris Sawyer built most of this game using assembly language. That's extremely difficult. Yet he created one of the most iconic simulation games ever. Managing parks, building rides. It became a classic. All from one developer with insane dedication. The First Tree. Let's slow things down for a moment. Not every great game needs action. Not every game needs combat. Sometimes a game just needs emotion. The First Tree was created by a single developer, David Weir. And what makes this game special is how personal it is. You play as a fox searching for her lost family. At the same time, there's a human story being told, a story about loss, about memories, about trying to understand life. The developer didn't just make a game, he used it to tell something real. The music, the narration, the atmosphere, everything feels calm but also a little sad. And that's the point. This game shows something powerful. You don't need complex mechanics to create something meaningful. Sometimes simplicity hits harder. Return of the Obra Dinn. Now this one is different, very different. Created by Lucas Pope, the same developer behind Papers, Please. This game drops you into a mystery, a ship, a missing crew, and one question. What happened here? You don't fight, you don't run, you investigate. Using a magical pocket watch, you can see the exact moment someone died, frozen in time. You walk through these scenes, listening, observing, connecting clues, and slowly you start solving the puzzle. But here's what makes it genius. The game doesn't hold your hand. No hints, no easy answers. You have to think. And when you finally solve something, it feels incredible. The art style is also unique. Black and white, retro, almost like an old computer. And again, this was made mostly by one person. Proof that originality always stands out. Bright Memory. Now let's talk about something fast. Explosions, gunfights, insane action. Bright Memory looks like a AAA game, but it wasn't made by a big studio. It was created by one developer, Zheng Xiancheng, one person. And when you see the gameplay, you won't believe it. You can shoot enemies, use a sword, slow down time, combine abilities, all in smooth, high-quality combat. This is the kind of game you expect from a full team. But no, it started as a solo project, and it went viral because people couldn't believe it. One developer creating something that looks AAA. That's the power of skill and focus. Dusk. Sometimes going backward is the best way forward. Dusk is a retro-style shooter inspired by old-school games, but it feels fresh. It was created mainly by David Szymanski, and the goal was simple: bring back the feeling of classic shooters. Fast movement, simple weapons, pure gameplay. No complicated systems, no unnecessary features. Just fun. And it worked. Players loved it because it reminded them why they fell in love with games in the first place. This is another important lesson. You don't always need innovation. Sometimes you just need to execute something classic perfectly. Thomas Was Alone. Now here's something unexpected. A game about rectangles. Yes, just shapes. No detailed characters, no complex graphics. And yet, this game is emotional. Thomas Was Alone was created by Mike Bithell. Each rectangle has a personality, a voice, a purpose. And as you play, you start to care about them, which sounds crazy, but it works. The narration plays a huge role. It gives life to simple shapes. And suddenly, you're not just solving puzzles, you're experiencing a story. This game proves something incredible. Graphics don't create emotion. Story does. Banana Shooter. Let's talk about something more modern. A weird, fun, chaotic idea. Banana Shooter is exactly what it sounds like. A shooter with bananas. It might sound like a joke, but that's what makes it work. Simple idea, fun gameplay, easy to understand. And that's important today, because in a world full of complex games, simple and fun spreads faster, especially online. Games like this go viral because they're easy to watch, easy to play, easy to share. And again, built with a small team or solo effort. Why these games succeeded? Let's stop for a second, because this isn't just about games. There's a pattern here. All of these developers did something very specific, and if you understand this, you can apply it to anything, not just games. 1. They didn't try to be perfect. Think about it. Minecraft looked extremely simple at the beginning. Blocky graphics, basic mechanics, and yet it became the biggest game in history. Why? Because it focused on one thing: freedom. Players didn't care about graphics, they cared about what they could do. And that's a huge lesson. People care about experience, not perfection. 2. They built for years with no guarantee. Look at Stardew Valley. 4 years of work, no income, no success, just belief. Most people would quit after a few months. But the difference is simple. These developers kept going, even when nothing was happening. And that's where most people fail. They stop too early. 3. They made something different. Undertale didn't follow the rules, it broke them. No killing, emotional choices, weird humor. And because of that, it stood out. In a world full of similar games, being different is your biggest advantage. 4. Small idea, huge execution. Papers, Please is literally about checking documents. That's it. No action, no crazy mechanics. But the execution? Perfect. Tension, decisions, consequences. A simple idea done well beats a complex idea done badly. 5. They built emotional connection. Think about your favorite game. Why do you love it? It's not just gameplay, it's how it makes you feel. Relaxed in Stardew Valley, emotional in Undertale, stressed in Papers, Please. These games connect with you, and that's why people remember them. The hardest part nobody talks about. Let's be real for a second. Making a game alone sounds cool, but the reality? It's brutal. Think about developers like Eric Barone or Toby Fox. They didn't just sit down and build a game. They faced long nights, self-doubt, burnout. Imagine working on something for years with no guarantee it will ever succeed. No salary, no audience, no validation. Just you and your screen. And the hardest part? Nobody is there to tell you you're doing it right. That's what makes solo development different. You are the designer, the programmer, the tester, everything. And if something goes wrong, nobody is there to tell you you're doing it right. That's why most people quit. Not because they lack skill, but because they can't handle the uncertainty. Now, here's something most people don't think about. How do these games actually make money? Take Stardew Valley. It's not just sales. It's multiple platforms, updates that keep players engaged, word of mouth. Same thing with Minecraft. At first, it was just a simple game, but then it expanded. Merch, servers, content creation, and suddenly it becomes an ecosystem. Even smaller games benefit from this. Streamers play them, YouTubers make videos, and that brings more players. So the real secret is this: a great game markets itself. Could you actually do this? Now let's turn this back to you, because after seeing all this, you might be wondering, could I do something like this? And the honest answer is yes, but not the way you think. You don't start by building a huge game. You start small, very small. One mechanic, one idea. That's exactly how Minecraft started, a simple block-building system, nothing more. And over time, it grew. That's how all big projects work, not in one big step, but in thousands of small ones. Here's something interesting. Many of these developers didn't even expect success. Daisuke Amaya made Cave Story just for fun. No marketing plan, no big launch. And yet, it became legendary. Why? Because people felt the passion behind it. That's something you can't fake. If you made it till here, I want to thank you personally for this. Please write a comment so I can know you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow gamers. Maybe they learned something new, or maybe it will inspire someone to make another great game. You have a suggestion about the next video? Why not? Comment below. Thanks a lot, and see you in another video.